everybody.
Everybody.
Good morning.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to call everybody, everybody.
You want to call everybody, everybody.
Their new name is everybody.
Everybody. Everybody. Okay. All right. It is a wonderful Sunday.
Everybody.
Let me see if I can get you in the picture here. You in the picture? There you is. There you is. There you is. Live and in color.
Technicolor.
Live and in color.
Living color.
Live and in color.
Okay, what's going on out there?
What do you mean? What's going on?
Somebody talk to me. Are you online? Are you with me? Happy Thanksgiving.
They're there.
Oh, you there? I can't see you. I want to see you.
Oh,
look at there.
Look
at there. I see y'all. Oh, you can't hide.
There's Vern.
Vern, you better straighten up, girl.
And Dion and George.
Come over here today, Vern. Bring me a big, thick cheeseburger, tender to the bone.
Oh, Lord.
Tomato, mayonnaise, slaw.
He's already requesting. Hello, Sandra. Good morning to you. And there's Brother Blue and the family. And I don't know where the rest of them is. But they're
in the hide. They slip in.
They may be just not commenting, you know. But anyway, it's good to have you guys.
Maybe if y'all get some sugar this morning, you'll be all right.
Get some sugar.
Yeah, sugar. You know what that is, don't you?
Yeah, I do, but I'm not sure why you said
it'll
that.
It'll work.
I'm not sure why you said it.
Because it'll pep you up.
I don't need pepping.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
It ain't never time you don't need pepping.
I don't need pepping.
I got pepper.
I'm trying to fix this here thing. Well, there you go.
See, if you had the sugar, you could pep it. I'm just having fun with her, y'all. Y'all doing all right. It's good to see you.
Well, it's Thanksgiving. Just about.
No, it ain't.
Just about.
No,
Yes, it is. It's this week. This week is Thanksgiving. And I'm grateful. You grateful for anything today?
Right at the spot.
What are you thankful for?
You.
Okay. What else?
That's it.
At least pick at least 3 things that you're grateful for. At least.
Okay. 1, you. 2, you. And 3, you.
Okay. All right. Hey, Robert Man and Denise.
Robert J.
And I saw a funny video, not a video, but Robert Man on, I think it was Facebook. And he was sitting in the room with 2 people that they were on their phones, just scrolling on their phones. And he said he was trying to fit in.
Who?
Robert. Mm-hmm. And he was trying to fit in, but actually what he was doing was he had his cup and he was doing like this on his cup. He was acting like he was swiping on his cup.
Oh my
Robert's a mess. He's a mess. I love it. There's my sister said she can hear us good. Thank you.
You ain't straight. I got to talk to you.
There's Yvette
J. Hickbar.
And Sister Pearl.
Pearl Hickbar.
So my 3 things I'm grateful for. I'm grateful that I am alive. I'm grateful that when I got up this morning, my body was working. It got little kinks in it, but it was working.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful that when I woke up this morning, I haven't lost anybody that's really close to me. And nor have I lost anything. So I feel pretty grateful about all of that. And I feel grateful that I'm able to cope with what's going on in my life. It's a lot of things I'm grateful for. Hey, Kim, how are you, sweetie pie? They were going to come by and see you yesterday. You called. Our phone, something's going on with our phone because I was told that somebody else called and there wasn't an answer machine.
Well, now we here today.
We were here all day, weren't we, baby?
Yeah, live and in color. We right here now.
Something did we unplug that?
I unplugged it.
But yeah, I don't know what's going on with our phone. I'm so sorry if you guys called and because we just didn't get the call. We didn't get it.
Well, come on back. We still here. My address the same. Got the same puppy dog, same girlfriend.
So yeah. And so I'm sorry if you didn't get to come by. You want to thank everybody for because they sent a few cash apps for you.
They did. I
And
didn't
some
see it.
people, well, I know you didn't because I see that more so on
Well,
my
I thank you
phone.
very much down to the
Yeah,
heart and the
yeah.
gizzard
So some of
or
them
the
sent
goozer.
you, some of them sent you little money. So we can give you that this week.
Well, thank you so much. If I was close to you, I'd give you some sugar. I don't know about you, Robert. I ain't give you no sugar. You might get greedy.
And for those of you who don't know, this was Pastor's birthday. Yesterday actually was his birthday, and we didn't do anything though, did we? We didn't celebrate or anything.
Hmm.
Never mind. Never mind. And hey, Sharon, how are you doing, sweetie pie?
Sister Sharon J, hook hit bar.
He's in rare form this morning. You can tell.
How's your husband doing?
I don't.
I hadn't asked about him. I hope he's doing well.
So they're saying they can come by today. We'll be here. We'll be here, baby.
Well,
We might go out and get us a little bite and come back
no,
in.
I ain't biting. I'm waiting till you come here.
But yeah, we'll be here, Kim. We'll be here. So yeah, I hope that you
Get
guys
in your
can.
Starship Enterprise and beam in.
Okay, so what are we gonna do today?
Well, oh my God, you come on here like you loaded, girl.
You always loaded, aren't you?
Mm.
Aren't you always loaded?
You know,
Aren't you
yeah, I got
always?
something to say, but
You're gonna say something crazy, I know, aren't you? You're gonna say something
all
crazy.
of God's promises are worked through union, oneness, and awareness, not getting, but knowing and finding out the definition of eternal life, eternal self, omnipotence, and omnipresent. There is no place God is not. So now we got to go back and reevaluate what it means to receive Him. Under what level of consciousness are we saying and speaking that from? Because when I woke up, or He woke up as my true identity, I knew then that I would never ever have to look for Him again in a particular place.
Right.
Nor did I have to go to a place to find out, was He there or was He going to show up?
Mm-hmm.
When I settled this, I've noticed the mind or the thinking, feeling self, it was not enough. I also found out if I felt like a broke neck chicken in a meat house, if all the wheels on my Jeep and car turned square, or if I found out a train could have a flat tire, if I felt like I had been drunk for 20 years and have a 20-year hangover that would not change the awareness and the geographical location of God's definition of eternal life, omnipotent and omnipresent. But when I found out a lot of the things that I realized that was going on in denomination, religion, and spirituality gave me a new way of looking at the location of God. It changed my whole perspective of the God identity in every man, woman, and child.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It freed me from struggling, trying to get better, or to be the worst thing in the world, or to do something to try to get God to show up. That is over.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The seeking is over.
That is. But the thinker don't stop.
I said the seeking.
The seeking, yeah.
Yes.
The seeking stopped. The wanting more, trying to get God's attention through doing a whole lot of uh, hoops, jumps.
Trying to find what would cause God to
Now,
respond.
now this is a big pill to swallow for some people who, and I tell you another thing it
But
is.
I think it's habitual. I think we, especially those of us who came through the Christian path, this is pretty much what was taught to us.
Yeah, conditioned.
We were conditioned to believe that we had to really put forth so much effort to please God, to get God's attention, all of those things, to get our needs met by God, to rescue us or whatever. So we were conditioned to believe
The
that's what we
mind
had
is
to do.
dreaming that we are separated from God until we have some type of evidence
Yes.
in the sense world,
Yes.
feeling world, or the book world. Now, the book world is a little bit different because we had to read something or come across something to find out what was going on in that part of us that seemed to be missing something.
So you're saying the books helped?
The book was an assistant, but here's the clue to the book. If you through the spirit, if you through the eternal infinite self inside of every man, that also includes Robert Man, is revealed to us from that perspective, it can be revealed to you in such a way that you'll never, ever, ever, ever look for God in a particular place ever again.
Yeah. And so now my attention, and I want to go back to something that I want to touch on something that Robert's just mentioning. If I would look at my life today versus when in my getting saved days or the first encounter, I think not my first encounter, but I'll say the encounter that I had with God that got me into the church. There was the desire to know God. That was pretty much. Some people may have come into that place of getting saved, going to church because they needed God to help them, but that wasn't my case. Because I had been in church, in and out of church, most of my life with my family. My dad's side, they were holy rollers, and on my mom's side, they were very sophisticated, educated people, and they went to Presbyterian, Methodist, and those kinds of churches, Episcopal churches. So they didn't go to the ones where people really showed their emotions. But it was all about, for me, somehow connecting with God, and I knew, I felt in my heart that God was real, and I wanted to connect. So that was my reason for getting into all of this religious stuff. It wasn't so much to get help from God. Some people, I think, they started on this path because they wanted help and they needed it, and that's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a very valid reason for doing it. Some people got into it because they were afraid. They were told they were sinners and something was wrong with them, that they had to get into the church and get saved and all of this, because if they didn't, they were going to go to hell. So there were a lot of reasons people did what they did to get on this religious path. But it's in regard to what Robert just mentioned here. It takes a while to follow Jesus's teaching concerning not judging yourself. And that is so true, because for over 50 years, I think I judged myself even while in religion. Yeah. And I was very hard on other people because I was hard on myself. And I felt like there was this image I had to live up to. And I was constantly trying to live up to it. And it was like trying to squeeze Jell-O. You know how when you squeeze Jell-O, you know what happens? It just, you can't grab it. it oozes out your hand. So
Ooh.
it was like that. And so coming into this realization or self-realization that has now made me aware that there was no need to even do anything to try to create an image that God would accept, or I felt like more than God accepting it was the church accepting.
We got a church on this block, and we had a church on the other block. We got two of them right across the street from each other. We got the Democrats on one side and the Republicans on the other side.
Oh gosh, don't even talk about that. But yeah,
I mean, I'm just
I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
And I go and visit one. They say they got it. I go and visit another. They say they got it. I want to go over to see the other one and say, let's fellowship together. Well, let me pray about it.
Yeah.
Well, my ham sandwich, when you get ready to go to the store and all these people down there with all them turkeys jumping around in the freezer, you don't go to anybody and ask them which turkey to buy. Not unless you got a store that ain't got many turkeys in there. But all them other turkeys walking around in there ain't paying no attention to nobody. But yet they are still looking for something that's already there.
Yeah, and it took a great while for me to come to the place that I understood that what I was seeking is where I am and where I was looking from. And so it took a long time for me to realize that. And now I've just recently come into the realization that I don't have to judge myself constantly. I don't have to measure. I don't have to pull out a measuring stick constantly.
Here's a good one for you. We've been having trouble with one of our bathrooms downstairs. It was leaking water inside the tank. She could hear it. I couldn't hear it, so I had to get real close to it. And we called a plumber in, and they couldn't get anybody right away. But I did find one that would come right on the spot. Now, he told me that it would be $96 for coming from wherever he was to check it out. But he didn't tell me the whole story of what it's going to really cost me when he got here. So when he got here, I said, I'm glad to have you. We talked. He went in there and sat down and found exactly what was wrong with it. Charged him by the hour. When he found out, I said, how much do we owe you? He said, $800.
Actually, it was more, $869.
About right at $900. You said like
so
that.
Might as well say almost $1,000.
Almost $1,000. I said, what? If I had known,
I think we got gypped. I think we got shot.
Yeah,
I do. I think we did.
And he said, well, because of the tariffs. I said, well, excuse me. Hell, I can go down here at Lowe's and buy that apparatus that he got. And I said, I could put it in there. I said, I put one in
now,
before.
Why you bring all that?
I'm show you.
Why you bring all that?
Hold on, just.
I'm listening.
I'm
waiting.
And I looked at him. Now, here's my point about we talking about conditioning now. And I looked at him. I said, $800. I said, I can get that for about $30, maybe $20. And he said, I'm sorry. But I said, look. I said, I appreciate you coming. And she wrote him out a check. But here's my point. He was saying, I said, well, how much did that piece cost, actually? He told me. And my point is that my mind went crazy.
Okay.
But by me knowing what we're talking about this morning, about the eternal self, there's no anger in our eternal essence. There is no fear, no regret, no revenge. Think about our government. There's no revenge in the Christ self. But my mind still goes over and over. How many times over and over again, the mind goes over and over something. And do you know there's a small definition of that called insanity?
Yeah.
The ego is another name for darkness, satanic and Luciferian principle is ignorance. Gone the seed. When you take a seed of ignorance and plant it out in your front yard, you go out and look at what's coming up. You gonna mess around and have a crop of ignorance out there, and the mind gonna go off on that. I didn't think that pill was that powerful. I didn't think one pill could do all that. And how many times would it keep repeating the same thing over again? So my mind, the mind, which is not me, nor you as the thinker, is revengeful, and it's trying to get even. Now, eventually it'll burn itself out. But when it burns itself out, what it does, it goes through into the subconscious mind, and it plants all those revengeful memories into what is called the black box. The black box is a storage place for all data, download of whatever happens to the ship, the train, the airplane. And what has happened to the past is stored in there. If you don't study to show yourself approved, in other words, if you don't investigate enough into your spirit anatomy or your Christ identity, that monkey mind with that information in the black box, every season or every time an event come up or somebody mentions something about plumbing, that black box will open up and the God over that will let that out again, and you in the mind, you won't, but the mind will start going back through that same rehearsal. You get the same feelings. You get the same. It could be raining during the time the plumber came by, and every time it rained, the black box will open up and let that junk out.
Yes, it will.
And there you have spiritual warfare. It's not really spiritual warfare. It's a monkey in that box that keeps sticking his head off, and your conditioned mind, ego, keeps bringing up the devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. He ain't going. Whatever that devil you call has got nothing to do with you being the perfect self in your eternal Christ identity. Now that's why I'm bringing up the plumber. And I want to call him and give him a good long talk. That's the mind. But now, because you know this about the Christ self, don't mean you stick your head in the ground, let your butt hang out. You do what is done according. Like that, some people, they won't go to church unless the Lord tell them. Go to church if you want to. If you don't want to go, stay home. Don't go shopping because the Lord didn't say so. You know, you got a towel in your car so thin you can see the air floating around in it. You have to rub turpentine on to keep the bees from the bugs from stinging it, so making it go down. You want to ask God, should I put new tires on the car? You run it on the rim. You ain't got no rubber on the tire, and it's sparking fire on down the highway. and you trying to find out, Lord, is it your will? Well, go on out there and run the thing without a tire on the rim. And pretty soon you're going to get stopped, and you're going to tell the police, the Lord didn't tell me to put a wheel. Don't put no more tire on my car. That's foolishness. Everything that you are and need to deal with this is inside of you. That took a long time for me and the wife to accept. I thought Jesus or the Holy Spirit came in part, that he was measured out to us, because we read in the Bible where God gave Jesus the Spirit without measure. And that's a print in the book that'll mislead you when you think about the definition of omnipotence, omnipresent, God everywhere present. God is in the service station, the gymnasium, the liquor store. I think the liquor store is one of the prettiest places you could go into. You don't have to go in there and drink, but when somebody see you in there, they mind go off. Reverend, what you doing in the liquor store? I hate it happen. What you doing in the liquor store? I said, my wife want me to go in there and get something that she can cook with to add to the food. What is that puts judgment on you? Because you got to ask God, should you answer the telephone or should you not? Should you get a job? You sitting there on your pan, on your cake, and the thing ain't done, and you asking somebody, should you put it in the stove. First person you want to ask is, God, is it your will for me to put this pie cake in the stove and finish it off? You got to sit there and fast and pray and seek God and wait on Him. Well, your pie gonna go sour. My point is,
Whatever that point is.
my point is, it is time for us to come out of the woods, to come out of the cage, come out of the trance, come out of the sickness of God being somewhere else at another time in another place other than being inside of
Now
us.
you brought up a point in talking about the plumber. What and this is the thing, and I think what Robert said is really crucial because, and we've been kind of talking about it for the last few weeks, how that yes, the mind does all of this stuff that you just mentioned, that all of that happens, but when I think about the plumber now, I know that he charged us way more than he should
Yes, he
have.
did.
I know that. And there's a part of me that says I wasn't smart enough to not have that happen to me. The mind said that you weren't smart enough that wouldn't have happened to you. But I'm reminded of something. And so I've come to a point now where, yes, I have the reaction. Yes, I have the thought. There is that thought. But now I am not disturbed by having that thought. Now, this is what I want to point to. Matthew 5:40 says, and this is Jesus saying this. In the 39th, well, let's do the 38th verse, because this is important.
Okay.
You have heard that it's been said, an eye for an eye.
It's been said.
And a tooth for a tooth. That means if somebody does you wrong, get them. You retaliate. That's what
square up with them.
Okay. 39th voice. That's it. 39th verse says, but I say unto you that you resist not evil. That's important.
That's the point.
At one point it says to resist evil, and here it's saying resist not evil. But whosoever shall smite you on the right cheek, turn to him the other one also. And then it said this in the 40th verse. This is part that got me about the plumber. And if any man will sue you at the law and take away your coat, let him have your cloak also.
That's now. What? Go ahead. I'm gonna fix that one for you.
Listen, if any man will sue you at the law and take away your coat, give him your cloak also. No retaliation. Even if the reaction is there, he's saying this, you still need to give him something. So this is how I've converted what happened with the plumber. Yes, he gouged us. Yes. And yes, we were too lax or negligent to really find out before he did the work.
And yes, we had to scrape up the 800.
Right. Yes, all of that.
Yeah.
And all of that's a truth, a fact.
In them finite.
But yes, we were supposed to give him that. So this is the thing.
How my mind went off right there.
Yeah, we were supposed to give him that.
And the mind said, "Well, he didn't tell us the truth. Why he lied?"
But that's not the issue. We were supposed to give him that. I remember Byron Katie. For those of you who are not familiar with her, Byron Katie is a spiritual teacher, sage guru, what do you want to call it? She had an enlightenment experience, and she's written several books, and one of them is Loving What Is. And she said that there was a time when someone was robbing her. And because she had this tremendous shift and it was still fresh on her, she just gave them what they wanted. And she didn't resist them. And so it turns out that the reaction and the response is to protect and self-preserve.
That's
It's to protect and self-preserve. And yes, in the way of the mind, that should have been handled differently. But this young man was supposed to get that from us.
Yeah.
So this is how it's converted. He was supposed to get that. We were supposed to give him that.
Okay.
Even though it didn't feel right to us, it was supposed to happen. And so there is no resistance when you convert it and realize if they take you to the law, if they take you to court and sue you, and they take your coat, give them the rest of it. That's what Jesus said. Give them the rest of it.
Now here's the clue.
So that's the only way to get past the reaction, is to say they had to have it. And so I gave it to them. They needed it more than I did. And so there he can have it.
That was the book we read years ago when we started off, and way before we met Robert Mann. I slipped my mind.
Okay. Well, while you're thinking about it, let me read some comments, because Robert's given us some good ones, and so some of the other ones. I hadn't stopped to give it to them because you were talking.
It would take the spirit of the true identity to bypass the part of us that's fighting and resisting the event that seemed to be so tragic and dishonest about the plumber. No way, in a natural sense, spontaneous, what you're reading is exactly the way spirit operates.
Yes, it's and it goes.
But for this to be initiated, for some people, the unwillingness to release it is where we're pointing to. Where did that come from? And we found out where it come from. That not being willing to surrender this thing is not coming from your eternal self. It's coming from a false conditioned self.
True, but now, yes, and all of that's true. So I want to remove the burden from you of having to do something. I want to remove the burden from you of having to get rid of the feeling that I have about the plumber.
Okay, that's a feeling.
So that had to be surrendered. I had to let the feeling be there and stop. And I had to allow the feeling to be there. And yes, it's there. So what? It's there. And so I have to go back to what Robert said earlier. It takes a while to follow Jesus's teaching, we're not judging yourself. So there's the judgment. I feel the judgment. It says you should have been smarter.
Yeah, I heard that come.
You should have been smarter.
Should ask more questions.
You should have asked more questions. Should have got bid from somebody else. Should have waited.
Why don't you call them this morning and straighten them out?
Yeah, all of those things. I hear all the judgment. I hear it. But I'm no longer taking it as true for myself. So this is the thing.
Who is taking it?
It doesn't matter because I'm not taking it.
That's right. That's my point. That's why I answered that. From the left side to the right side, when I said who is taking it, you came through the middle path and said that's not important.
Yeah, well.
But yet, I understand.
Yeah, it is important, but
it does not.
But the reaction,
it's not priority.
But the reaction that I'm having is not important.
That's what I'm talking about.
The situation is important, but the reaction that I feel, the judgment that I feel about myself is not important.
Yeah.
Because I no longer believe the judgment. I no longer believe the judgment. I now know I was supposed to give him that. I was supposed to give him that. And I'm happy about giving him that. Would I do things differently in the future? Yes. But I was happy about giving him that. Okay, so here's some other things Robert said. He said, every self-judgment is a limiter, and by the measure you measure concerning you will be measured unto you in your life experience. We most often judge ourselves as small and impotent, experiencing the same. So what we experience with the reactions in the judgment is the belittlement of the ego that felt like it knew better. It should not have happened to me that way. I should have been smarter than that. And so that was a belittlement or an humbling of the ego, which is which we have to accept. That's what it was for us.
Leslie said something up there. I saw her, a statement she made about car.
I didn't see that.
Go down and say, and it said something about a headlight being burnt out. If one of your lights are off on your car, or not on your car, do you need to ask anyone?
To fix it or drive in the night blind side.
You see
What?
it?
I don't. Yeah, I don't understand that. So
Oh, well,
I
go
mean,
back
I
to it. Go
understand
back,
it, but I
go
don't
back,
know what
pull it up. I read the whole thing.
I just did
To fix it or drive it. Now,
in the night.
here's what I mean when I say stick your head in the ground and you leave your butt hanging out.
Yeah.
First of all, you shouldn't have to ask anybody anything if you are maintenance.
Now, is she asking a legit,
Yeah, she asking a
a
question.
literal question?
Yeah, in other words, she's trying to find out where does God come in and where you wait for somebody to tell you versus doing looking at it yourself. That's what she's saying. My here's the way you do it. If you have a car and you know it's got to be serviced, you should know enough about your car from being around cars to check to make sure everything is functioning like it should. Yes, we do forget. That's normal. God does not expect you to walk around in the street and cross the street when traffic is heavy without paying attention to the traffic.
So now, how is that relative to what we're talking about?
Relative to what we're talking about is that just because God is in you, you don't have to ask him 24/7 for things that you know you have to do. I'll make it drastic. When you get ready to go to the restroom and you know you got to go bad, I mean, you are between eternity and hell, and you know you need to go in there. Would you stop and go in your prayer closet and sit there and wait for God to tell you to go to the bathroom? No. Your instincts tell you that you need to go now, and God ain't going to punish you. That's what I want to get to. He's not going to punish you because you messed your pants up or you didn't go when before he told you to. And this is something that the church has really goaded itself in, finding out what God's will is pertaining to things that they naturally should do. When you look on your car and you see that light come on that says red, you don't wait for God to tell you to take it to get it checked. If you don't have the money, you need to take it home. If you got the money and you got a warranty on it, you need to take it in as soon as you can. That's what I mean when I say stick your head in the ground and leave your back end hanging out. You don't do that. You go ahead on, and God, listen to this. God is not the one to send you to hell, and he's not the one to send you to heaven. He's not judging you. When I found out the true nature of the eternal Christ identity in his fullness, he is expecting you, what you call VIA, assistant along with flying VIA on US Airlines. You do the necessary things that are necessary for you to prepare yourself to get on the plane. You don't expect the plane or the flight attendant to come out to your house, pack your bag, put all the things in it you want. You have to do that VIA assistant. You have to go to the airport or you call in to get your ticket to prepare you for the flight at a certain time. You don't wait for God to tell you when to go get the ticket, and you got to be there at a certain time. And then when a certain time comes, you go to the airport and you say, well, at least you did go to the airport. You say, the Lord ain't told me what ticket to get and what to do. Can you help me? And then they start giving you information about how to get the ticket. And then you ask them, did the Lord tell you to tell me to get this ticket at this time? No. I'm telling you something. I'm trying to put it together. This has been one of the biggest errors in spirituality and Christianity, because God spoke to you one time and told you something, it's got to be that way all the time. I'm asking you guys to investigate the various ways of the way the inner man or the Christ self communicate through these vessels. That would save you a lot of headache, a lot of heartaches, and disappointment. And pretty soon you'll find out because God didn't tell you to do something and you did it and it didn't follow through in a blessing, you're going to get mad at God or judge yourself and go find somebody to lay hands on you. Going to see Psychic Joe, Psychic Mary Lee Everett, whatever her name is. And then you're going to kick God to the curb. And you know what, darling sugar pie, it's no way in a ham sandwich with a bad piece of tomato on it that you can bend God's arm and make him do something. You don't have to do that. Because if you trust him in any book that you find a statement about God's grace, you're not going to find anywhere in there where he'll make you do something. Well, he did it in the Old Testament. See, there you go. Go ahead.
I feel like you on West Coast and I'm on the East Coast.
Yeah,
We're
but
in
I'm
two
trying to
different places here.
I'm trying to bring this thing around to a middle path experience that you can relax now because you know where God is, and you don't have to work at it, and you don't have to put yourself in a mystical place that you're not sure of. You don't have to run around here looking for signs and wonders to determine whether God is in something or not.
True.
I don't have to wait for God to show me that he's not in a gun at somebody's head to tell me that I should or should not shoot them. I don't have to wait for God to tell me, do I need to go to the store and get some washing detergent if I got the money to get it, and I ain't gonna get it until he tell me to. I'm bringing this thing around to a waking up state. Relax. What is there is waiting for your attention. Just relax. There's people spending thousands of dollars going to the church, putting it in the offerings, and helping people so God will give them a word saying yes or no. Now that may come, but if it don't come, you need to know when it does and when it does not. When you're aware of it and when you're not. I rest my case, honey. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm not sure where to go from there, but okay.
So to fix it.
No, that's that. But see, that took us off the whole.
No, it's right there at the point.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, we're at the point where it talks about it to the plumber. You find out how to operate from your Christ self, just what you read out of the book and what you explained and what Robert said and the rest of them said. Given it shall be given unto you. If you don't want it, now I pass guys on the street and I see them there on the block, and my mind said, you need to give to them so you can get something back. Or if you don't give to them, you're gonna disobey God. You know they need help, but I got out of that judgment and condemnation. I got out of the ideal of if I don't, this gonna happen. If I do this, this will happen. I let go, and when I did relax with this, I found such a freedom. I found such a freedom. It's okay either way. He said, if you've done it to the least, you've done unto him. If you don't do it, it's still him. And I found the balance in it. So I hope you guys are catching what I'm saying, because it's no need.
Give us a thumbs up or a comment.
Yeah, please do. Yeah. I used to ride in the car. I wouldn't turn the radio on because it was the devil's radio in my car. So I finally let go of that. I got tired of my head hurting, straining, and being stuck up in the mud because I wanted to listen to something on the radio and I couldn't hear it because everybody said that's the devil's tube. That's the devil's station.
Mm-hmm.
And I let go of it, and I felt so much better.
Okay.
Yeah. So with this thing about the plumber and unnecessary stuff, I can call him. But when I call him, if I do, I'm free to do it or not. I'm going to explain to him.
Well, see, this is where I have to deal. I'm not. Let me say it like this. I have the same urge to deal with the plumber,
Yeah.
to call or whatever.
But he told me he wasn't in charge of it.
But what I'm dealing with, what well not dealing with, what I'm aware of is the belittlement of the ego
Mm-hmm.
that feels like it was taken advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
Now the reactions that came from that is what I'm focusing on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm focusing on that because there was this judgment that came from the whole incident toward ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is where the suffering comes from. This is why the mind can't stop repeating it.
That's my point.
It can't stop repeating it because it's the ego is caught up in the judgment against itself and the fact that it feels smaller because it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make
Mm-hmm.
sense?
Mm-hmm.
So when we have incidents where we feel we've been taken advantage of or any of those, the ego begins to feel like it's smaller than it. So it's not significant enough. It's not important enough. And that should not have happened to me. So this whole thing of self-preservation. Now, it's not wrong to want to make things easier for yourself. It's not wrong to want to protect your property, your belongings, your body. That's not wrong. But when there's this self-preservation and self-defense, it issues forth from the mind that feels like it's being taken advantage of. And so this is why I deal with it from that standpoint, that what I'm feeling on the inside has nothing to do with that young man. What I'm feeling on the inside has to do with the judgment against myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that can happen with anything.
Mm-hmm.
The judgment against myself for not being smart enough, for not being put in that position, putting myself in that position. Hey. So that's where the judgment that I'm talking about.
And one of the things the mind say, I never should have done that. I never should.
That's judgment. Mm-hmm. And that judgment is not coming from us. It's not coming from us. It's coming from an ego that's wounded.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The judgment comes from an ego that's wounded. And so it doesn't negate the fact of what the young man did. It doesn't negate the fact that we should have been smarter. But the judgment against ourselves is coming from a wounded ego. So now the wounded ego is what I'm looking at. Okay. That is not who I am.
That's right.
That wounded ego is not who I am.
That's right.
So therefore the judgments doesn't apply to me. So this is how it was converted with this particular scripture that says, if a man sues you, takes you to court, and takes away your coat, give him your cloak too.
Mm-hmm.
So
and if you don't want to give it to him.
So this is how I'm addressing the ego that says that shouldn't have happened to me. The ego that says that, I'm addressing it by saying, I was supposed to give it to him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was supposed to give it to him, because if I wasn't supposed to give it to him, it never would have happened.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And that may sound like passivity, but it's not, because there's no passivity. There's mm-hmm. no reaction in it. There's no resistance in it. And so you can feel the resistance, and some of us feel justified in the resistance. That's the problem. We feel justified having the resistance. I feel justified feeling like I should be angry. Mm-hmm. Feel justified because he took advantage of me. But he didn't take advantage of us. We put ourselves in that position.
That's right. That's right.
So that's how I'm looking at it. I don't know if that makes sense. You guys are seeing exactly how we work through things. This is how we work through things. And there's no pat answer. But this is how we work through things.
Now, divine grace. The answers are inside. And Huna religion, Hawaiian religion.
Robert introduced that to us years ago.
There's a book called Mastering the Hidden Self. How many times in the day that my mind constantly goes back to 1144 North Cherry Street in Winston-Salem, North Carolina,
All the time.
all day long.
Yeah.
Is there any rest for the weary?
Thank you, Sylvia. Sylvia, thank you for saying this. She says the two of you are giving us things from your various perspectives and life experiences, and we are getting the benefit.
Now,
So I pray that you are, because this is how we work through things.
Thank you.
This
so
is how
much,
we cope. This is how we practically use the truth that we have discovered. This is how we practically
direct experience.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I Miss Sylvia, thank you. You heal my heart, baby.
Yeah.
You heal my soul. Because for this statement to come up and for us to say thank you is an indication that our mind was having trouble dealing with what we were saying to you guys, correctly or incorrectly, pertaining to the subject. Yes. And so you just verified how to get us free from the judgments of right and wrong.
Yes. Now, here's some other good comments. And Jill says, I'm starting to look at me against who or whatever thoughts and dispel them, because there is only one. Yeah. So good. I'm glad you're getting this. And then Pearl says, sounds like Pastor pulled it all together, saying it's not in the external of things, but the internal. None of these things shall move me. Yeah.
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 But now here's what I want to say now.
And it did move you, didn't it?
Yes.
It did move you.
Who did it move?
The ego. And I say that too simple. It's too simple.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that sounds like too simple of an answer. It was the ego, but it was a wounded ego that was disturbed by it. And not only that, some of the judgments, I have to admit, some of the things that the mind judged us as, or the ego judged itself as, was true. We should have did this, and we should not have done that, with all of these different little things. But that's why I said, normally we would not have done that.
This is the kind of stuff that causes us to get on our platform and want to go around to everybody we know and everybody we meet in the street and tell them what we just talked about online, that we know by direct experience they should hear in order for us to fulfill God's calling on our life. That is no way that I'm going to go that way like I used to do. It is, to me, it doesn't fit my plate. It don't razz my berry and cream my crop.
So really, we're not mad at the young man.
No,
we're mad at ourselves.
And who?
That's the key.
But yeah,
we're not mad at the young man. We're mad at ourselves.
But my point, it's time for this getting mad at yourself to stop.
Yeah, and this is what I said last week. You said that too loud, made your head spin.
Yeah, my head is swimming all over.
You need to calm down. He told me this morning I need to relax. You need to relax.
I don't know what's going on.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. You okay?
No. My head, I got these right there pushing this stuff out.
So we're really mad at ourselves, because normally we would not have put ourselves in that position. So that's why I said, we were supposed to give him that.
Let me tell you what the anointing is from the esoteric meaning. The definition of anointing that we've been taught in church and through the scriptures. Ooh.
You okay?
Oh, my head is dizzy. The anointing is, as we age, we learn and we see the foolishness that we subjected ourselves to ever learning and never coming into the truth.
Let's talk about this, because why do you think the AARP magazine and all of these different police news broadcasters and all say that the seniors are being scammed?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because seniors get scammed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there's a vulnerability that happens in the aging process. A lot of people don't realize this. When you get to a certain point, there's a level of vulnerability, and some people take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so you were about to say that, but you were thinking of it in another way.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are in this season of our lives where it's easier for people to scam us.
Mm-hmm.
And that
But one thing I have found out, that in a case like we did with the plumber and some other people, if you through the Spirit mortify, meaning
what do you mean here?
It is.
Yeah.
If you through the Spirit mortify, mean mortician, when a body is froze in the icebox, it's stuck.
That's true. It's done.
If you through the Spirit understand the actual sensing discernment, I don't like to use that word discern because we use it too much.
It's overused.
Yeah, we do.
It's overused. Yeah.
When we see through the finite mind, the infinite self, the divine flow never starts and never stops. It never will start and stop. It has always been us.
Mm-hmm.
But because the senses have been dulled by this sickness in this finite world, and I'm not condemning this world. I'm pointing you with my finger. Let's look at this thing. Oh God, here we go. Let's look at this thing and see behind the veil that was split from top to bottom, the middle hemisphere of the brain. Let's look at this thing. I hear people talking all the time, and I've done it myself, out-of-body experiences when I travel on the other side. There's a part of me that's looking at all of it. And I can see and hear when it's me and when it's something else. And I found out how to hear God speak and communicate without words, without book, without ink, and without paper. We are pointing you in a direction of absolute freedom. And what sends you to hell is that thing on this eager beak up here that goes through your soul.
It goes to hell.
That says,
the thinking.
But I am not going to be made a fool out of. He took this, he did it. And I found out that the Christ said, look, baby. If you're not used to taking vitamins, and the doctor tell you you're going to have to take these vitamins in order for your health to improve in the physical, and you come up with this thing, I don't believe in medicine. I ask God. God will heal me. By his stripes, I'm healed. I've seen a lot of people go to the dirt. In my 78th year today, or yesterday, I've seen a lot of people shipwreck.
Die early.
Because of foolishness.
Because of resistance, because of fear, and because of this urge to self-preserve. And so I'm not saying that you shouldn't care about the protection.
No, we're not saying that. No.
But there's a I'm trying to put the words to it. In your self-discovery of seeing what is reacting and where the decision came from. They really do that because they're afraid to go through the treatment.
Lady was getting ready to take my blood to the doctor's office.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But listen, we're going off track here. I know we are. Because when you talked about the split between in the brain of the two hemispheres, I immediately went back to the story that Sandra told us about her mom shooting that man, and the bullet went through and parted his head, and it left it smoking. That came to my mind while you were talking about the two hemispheres and the split in the brain. I'm thinking, okay, I shouldn't be thinking about that right now. This is how the mind does. It's crazy. The mind is crazy. The mind is crazy. And that stuff is still in the database. And Sandra's story is stuck in my mind. It's stuck in the basement. And when you said that, it came up the steps and said, "Here I am." It came up. So
it reminded me of Shirley. Shirley was talking about this guy was running and he got shot in the butt.
oh my God.
And he kept running, but he died. He just died.
Oh my goodness.
Now think about old George and Dion said that her mama, if in the liquor house, they hit somebody and knocked him up under the table.
That stuff is down in the basement.
Yes, see, I come up
and
the woman come out on the table and said, "What you hit me with, a 45?"
So there's no way to get rid of the stuff in the basement.
Oh
you
Lord!
Clean that basement
but
out.
here's your hope. Here's your bread and butter. This is your bread and water. If you through the Spirit mortify, that's the only thing that'll free you.
When you say that, you gotta give us practically what if you do through the Spirit.
If you find if with what we're telling you, investigate in how to freeze it with what you already know in your eternal self. All you have to do, God is ready inside of it. He's never not been ready to freeze it.
You and I are going through the mortification process right now.
That's and you know why we're doing it? Because the Spirit is pointing it out, and He's showing us to show them and tell them that there is a way.
Yes.
And Jesus said He was the way. But to apply this,
the mortification process,
okay, is now.
And what we're dealing with
about
the plumber, because the plumber's in the basement.
Yeah, he
the
is.
Plumber's
He's in the toilet now.
The plumber's in the basement, and he keeps coming up the steps.
Yeah. But now we learned something, didn't we?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We did.
I could have fixed that myself, but I didn't want to get dizzy. I didn't want to get dizzy. So I had spent $800.
So to sum it all up, the mind said, "You fools."
Yeah, that's what we said. It'll say it in a second. I always say before God gets a message, which he you know what we're doing now. I'm gonna tell you just to clue what we're doing now online. We are doing what is called conversational prayer.
Yes,
I don't need to go in the closet and repeat this over to God in the closet. We are the house in the closet of God, speaking conversation. We are speaking to the Christ self speaking to us right now on the spot. Now God is on the spot. He's right here on the spot. But what's so crazy about this thing, sweetheart, He's been on the spot from what we call day one.
And I want to repeat what Robert said. Because Robert's hitting the point. The point is, you are the one and the one of the many, simply being asked to respond authentically with each encounter. It doesn't matter how our reactions show up. It doesn't matter. It's okay how we react to it. But
it was designed for that.
But we look into it deeper. We look deeper into it to see what is reacting and why. And when you do that, you can't come to any other conclusion than that the ego feels small because it was taking advantage of.
In my house, you didn't say good morning, good evening, good night, but they will tell you in a second to go to hell. And when they said that, I said, I ain't going to your house because I'm already in hell living here. So that's the end of that subject. But my point is that we did not say good morning, I love you, I was wrong, forgive me. When I found out the Christ heart, Robert J. Hickbar, I found out how to talk from the Christ with no feeling bad, the worst day I can say,
You make yourself do it.
I love you
Make yourself do it.
with the heart of Jesus.
Now I got a couple of questions, and our time is gone, Pastor. Pearl says this: we create our own suffering a lot of times by our reactions. That's true, and it's by not so much by the reaction, but it's by feeling bad because I had the reaction. That's where the suffering comes from. I feel bad because I had the reaction, but hey, it's okay if I have the reaction. That answers the question that Leslie's asking. She says, "Is it the ego or me being in my feelings? Is that the same thing?" It doesn't matter if you're in your feelings. It's the fact that you look into it deeper
In your Christ's
to
heart.
find out why the feelings are there. Not so much trying to get rid of them, but why the feelings are there. That gives you more insight into what your internal self and what is motivating you, what is animating you at that moment. And then Robert says it's the God game, and it is.
Here's what I would say that I used to teach when we were in the brick and mortar.
Now you want to make this short.
I'll make it short.
Okay.
In the brick and mortar, I would tell a couple in counseling about marriage. You need to be around them and find out everything about them that you like and dislike, and make a decision.
Right.
As to whether you want to live with that for the rest of your life.
You're talking about the cases where they said, I don't know if I'm supposed to marry this person or that person, if this is the one. You won't know that by God speaking to you or a dream coming to you.
Or somebody prophesying to you.
Exactly. It has to come from you being around them, seeing how they respond in different situations, being around them long enough to see how they respond, how they interact with their family members, all of this stuff. And then you can make a calculated decision about whether or not I can live with that.
Here's a wisdom word. Also check while you're around them, what kind of lifestyle were they raised up in or brought up in?
Right.
And the reason why that, because every one of us had to come through an environmental crisis or somewhere. And that download of that environmental experience has a great bearing on the way they're going to treat female or male. Should you, in other words, a lot of people that married their fiance's mom and daddy, and the vice versa with the man. And then when they get up into a certain age, I've heard certain couples, we sat in their house and they tell me, looking at their husband's face and say, I can't stand him. Yeah. Now, this is wisdom that we're talking about now, insight. And that's the reason why in the old days, it said the wisdom and the old people should take, and we have these, what they call when they have the party before the wedding. Yeah. We need to sit down for the old wisdom and let the old ones tell us what make. I understand.
That's not going to happen.
I understand, but I need to tell you this. Is are you sure you ready to do this? Because you're going to have to live with this mom and daddy conditioning self. And then before you know it, hey, look, I'm going to cut it off. The way we did this, we had weddings in our church, and no sooner than they got downstairs, they divorced.
True. Yeah.
You need to check it out.
Yeah.
Be kind to yourself.
And I think just sum all of that up.
Yeah, my purpose is be kind to yourself.
To sum all of that up is not waiting for God to speak to you about everything,
but consider it.
But to use your whatever little spidey sense you got up here, use it to look at the red flags, not ignore them, and then maybe you can ask yourself, can I live with that? Because if they're there in front of you before you ever get to that point. I don't know, and I don't know why we're talking about that.
We're talking about this because we are seeing direction in the life of Christian or believers or whatever spirituality, that there's a better way to walk this thing than being under judgment and condemnation. There's an easy way to walk this thing. And you don't have to be in church or religion. And when we're not telling you not to go to church, I want to go now, but I ain't going. And it's not about judgment of what the church is right or wrong. It's just I'm not going to.
Okay. We got to quit, baby. We got
I
to
don't want to
quit.
quit.
I can see that. Robert says the deeds of the flesh are based upon judgments. Consciousness mortifies them.
Freeze it.
Yes, it does. It does. Thank you, Robert, for putting words to that. And Pastor Norman's here. Thank you, Pastor Norman. And then he says, your character will pass. You will not. You cannot. But while you're Jill or whoever, be that, explore that, appreciate this work of art that you are, the creator and its avatar, enjoying the dance. That's
the dance. I could cut a step right if we won't cut a step here, man.
That's my whole point, is you don't get mad at yourself for having the reaction.
Hey, look, Live and in Color will be back here on Tuesday at 7.
Yes, we will.
And if you can tune in and by the grace of the inner self, the mind of Christ, whatever, if we get on this subject again, I want to expound on it if we don't let it slip. This is very, very important, and it is a sign of maturity when you go into this. The anointing of God.
And you really have to work through.
Yeah. You'll find out.
You work through things. You work through the emotions. You work your way through them.
I see more of God now at 78 than I ever did when I was in my 20s.
Yes, we do. We really do.
And this is the anointing, with or without a sensation.
Now, if the Lord is speaking to you about paying that plumber's bill, then hallelujah. You can do that by giving. And we thank you guys for all of the gifts that you've been sending.
Yeah,
those of you who sent some cash apps for Pastor's birthday, thank you. I know some of you thought it was the 27th person. She thought it was the 27th. But it's been the 22nd for a minute, Sister Pearl.
It's been it was changed from Social Security.
His mom always said it was the 27th. And
my mom said that.
And
the old birth certificate said that.
The birth certificate appears to say 27.
Yeah,
but when you go back and look at it, the person who filled out the birth certificate obviously wrote that 2 that looked like a 7. And so Social Security determined that it was on the 22nd. And it had to be because it was registered on the 23rd. So, yeah. So anyway, that's why that was a mix-up. But yeah.
But we got it straightened out, and you guys.
So if you want to send Pastor something, do a cash app. Do a cash app and send him something for his birthday.
And if you do have my address, you know how to use it. I thank you for the grace of God that I speak to and the Christ inside of you. Laverne Wilson would work with us in our business. She had one of the greatest experiences in the hospital this week past, or speaking to the Christ self. We mentioned it. But I want you guys to understand that we really appreciate everything.
And we need to tell you about Sister Chris. Sister Chris is doing better.
They went in the room.
Hopefully she will be continuing to progress. And we thank God for that. And I told Vern that I said, I think maybe I can still get a prayer through. Because I said, God, if you're going to do anything, do it today. And that was the day.
It didn't take but a little bit. The prayer through was right there inside of you and her too.
Exactly. So, she's doing better. Thank God for that. When
she sat up in the bed and they walked in the room. She walked in the room. Both of them walked in. She sat up in the bed. Both of them said, "What?"
And thank you for all of the prayers and sending her all that love and light. So make sure that you talk to Laverne so she can give you some updates about that. And
the book said, Jesus said, "You are the light."
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You are it. You are thatness. Every bit of it, with or without approval of anybody's brain.
Yeah, Dee Dee says she lost her uncle this morning. I'm just sorry to hear that, baby. We will keep your family in prayer, okay?
You lost the physical. I know how it feels. And you're supposed to have emotion with that and the departure of our friends on this side. But they're watching you. And a lot of our family members on the other side are turning to be nothing but guardian angels.
I think it's hard for us to just sit with our feelings. We really have trouble sitting with our feelings. And we should not have so much trouble with that. But we do. And so don't try to push the feeling away. Don't try to get rid of the feelings. Just
maybe sometime, if it strikes me like it is now, we'll come on and we'll talk about what it was that made us stay together for 56, 57 years.
You know what it was?
Uh-huh.
You know what it was?
Yeah.
What? No, don't tell me because it'll be another whole story. Sermon. Don't
Yeah.
know. But you know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I like your sugar. That's part of it.
Yeah, thank you, Jill. She said, and anyone can visit Sister Chris. Yes, you can visit her, but I don't know exactly where she will be, So you need to keep in touch with Laverne to make sure of that, okay? And I think she's going to be okay. We're just grateful for that. Thank you, Jill, for mentioning that. And we're going to take off here. Have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday.
And a wonderful rest of the week.
Don't forget to give.
Okay. Thank you
Give
for
to
your
keep your
love.
flow going. Keep your flow going.
Thank you for your unconditional love.
Bye. We're going to see you on Tuesday.
Bye-bye.
See you on Tuesday.
See you on the turnaround.
Turn around.
Mhm.